All right, guys, how's it going? I don't know if you managed to watch my other video earlier. That was about claims that Real Madrid had ended their interest in Trent Alexander-Arnold and forward slash or Trent was looking at staying at Liverpool. Those were two claims that have been doing the rounds since Monday. In my previous video, I explained where they came from and why people were making those claims and why the Twitter twats, the so-called ITKs, were edging the bets a little bit. So basically, I addressed it in that video. I don't think Real Madrid have ended their interest in Trent Alexander-Arnold at the time of recording. But at the same time, I also don't think that they're knocking his door down, like desperate to sign him, as maybe some of the Liverpool clique of journalists want you to believe. Now, that Liverpool clique of journalists, a couple of months ago or whatever, were telling you that the Spanish media were ramping up reporting regarding Trent to Real Madrid, and the papers were full of the speculation, and it's not accurate, right? So, I was buying the Spanish football dailies for you throughout the summer during the transfer window because of Ubamendi, Kubo, Milli Vanilli, Mamadashvili and all of that. And then when the window closed, I said, well, there's no point now, guys. Well, we don't need the papers anymore. But when this clique of journalists started saying, Real Madrid are ramping up their attempts to sign Trent, I was like, hang on a minute, that's not accurate. So I've been buying the newspapers every day, thanks to your support through my channel here. I've been buying the Spanish football dailies and saying to you every day, guys, there is something or there isn't something, so that you can form your own opinions. Like, oh yeah, it's non-stop, or, well, they're hardly saying anything. So that I get the 3 dailies for you each morning. I go to the cafe, get a coffee and all that, right? And if there's nothing in them, I just leave the papers, in the cafe for the workmen, like, why would you bring them home and deprive someone? It's like, finish with them, lads, have that, right? But today I've brought one back. One, all right? Which is AS. And this is a pro Real Madrid football daily, if you like. Well, sport, they do touch on other sports as well, as you can see. When the international football, when that's not taking place, it's all about, this particular one is usually about Real Madrid. And so let's get to the bit that's relevant. It's this bit here. Now, Pedro Porro, we spoke about this player before, or I have, on here. And if you do follow my latest from Spain series, if you like, you will know that the Spanish media, the print media, the serious media when it comes to reporting regarding football here, I say serious. You might see things all the time saying reports in Spain. It could be a radio station. It could be a regional newspaper. They're always going to make their wild claims. And the shitty websites in this country, just like there is in England, I won't name them, but, the usual suspects that we all go, oh, we're not listening to what they've got to say. But for some reason, English or British people, or maybe people not from Spain go, oh, the reports in Spain, but they don't know the quality, as Rafa Benitez would say, of said publication. Now, so the print media, we focus a lot on the print media. And yes, you can get these titles online, but the online versions are often very different to the print media. And the print media also offers opinion as well from critical journalists that you should pay attention to. In fact, I'm going to do a video this week, if I remember, to tell you which 2 journalists to pay attention to, because I think you're going to see something from them very soon. Also, one more thing, you can get these online, like I said, and if they've got an English version of their coverage, their reporting, it's often very, very different to the Castellano, the Spanish one, right? So let's get moving on. So Pedro Porro, right? He is an alternative to Trent Alexander-Arnold. And he's been mentioned, a few times. I've mentioned him a few times. Not Pedro the Parrot, don't get confused with him. Those of you that are from here, around the Ruben Amorim stuff will remember Pedro the Parrot. But Pedro Porro gets a significant write-up today as being an option for Real Madrid. And, that maybe you would read that and think, oh, well, that, suggests that they're not interested in Trent. I've got my notes. One thing I will say is this little section here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm sure you can. Maybe you don't understand it. Basically, it says key, as in, what's key. Arnold is available for free. Porro, basically would cost 70 million euros. And that's key to the current situation. Now, I did have some notes here from you that I worked on at the cafe this morning. And Real Madrid basically saying they are aware of the availability so we're talking about Pedro Porro. They're talking about he would be up for a move to Real Madrid, and we don't need to go into all that. But they talk about Alexander-Arnold, and they still say in this article that he remains the main candidate. But there are doubts, and the doubts are he fascinates with his offensive skills. Like, Real Madrid, they like that offensive side of him, but they've got doubts about his defensive profile, right? So that's why they've not gone all in as yet on Trent, because they're looking at these other options, Pedro Porro being one of them. But then they talk about, the financial side of this. We know that Perez doesn't want to do anything in January, right? He doesn't like to do any business in the midwinter window. I don't think he has done for 5 years or so. So it would have to be financially attractive if they were to do anything in January, and maybe even the summer. Now, it says here that Arnold remains in lead to occupy the right back position for Madrid. He, according to this publication, remains the primary target, if you like, or one for consideration. Porro is considered a more balanced option in defensive play, but is much more expensive. So if you were to put both players in the same situation, if Porro was available, like Trent is, for example, or could be on a free, they go for Porro, I think, in my opinion. So basically what I took from this article was Pedro Porro is the one that they would like to see, but he's going to cost in excess of 70 million euros upwards. He's under contract until 2028. Tottenham paid 47.5 million euros from Sporting, apparently less than a couple of years ago. They talk about the difficult obstacles in making either of these deals work, and that being that Daniel Levy, or Levy, or whatever you want to call him, Levy, they describe him as the relentless chief executive of Tottenham. He knows how to play his cards better than anyone. Florentino Perez and Jose Angel Sanchez, who had to deal with him in the signings of Luka Modric and Bale, can attest to this. It says here, in an intense heavyweight battle, Levy pushed the president and the general director of Madrid to the limit in endless negotiations and tremendous wear. They don't want to do business with him. So with Pedro Porro, it's like, you know what? He probably would be the all-rounder that we would like, but he's going to cost 70 million euros. Minimum, upwards 70 million euros, right? And we'd have to, try and negotiate with Levy again, which is fucking really difficult. The interest in Porro is not new. You know this if you followed my commentary on this for a few months. And basically, the emphasis of the article is Arnold would come for free, but Porro is worth 70 million euros. I don't think I need to go on much more. So, basically, some people want you to believe that Real Madrid are no longer interested, and Trent's agreed this contract to stay at Liverpool, and he wants to stay with Liverpool. That's always been his priority. But Real Madrid, they're not interested now. This suggests differently. This continues to suggest that Real Madrid are interested because of the financial attraction, if you like, the ability to make it happen. One thing that it does say here, I think, and this is just how I'm interpreting and digesting this reporting, is that they're talking about him being free, right? So does that mean that they would be willing to wait until the summer, all right? Because he wouldn't be free in January, would he? That's something to consider. Remember this bit here, gratis. You see that, gratis? That means free. So Real Madrid is saying, hey, he's free, Can they manage until the summer? That's the thing. Now, listen, right? All I can do is tell you what's being reported in these newspapers. From my experience, I've lived here 17 years. I've done this cop talk shit for 26 years. I'm in my 27th year now. I feel like I have, a good feeling for things, and these are worth listening to, in my opinion, the vibe. But we have a game coming up against Real Madrid, and I told you, haven't I, that we would be subjected to more Trent Alexander-Arnold stuff around that game, even if it was not true. So we're now entering a period where, tomorrow I might go and get these, and there could be a huge splash about Trent. And we have to then go, is that genuine, or is this part of the mind games? Do you know what I mean? So this is the first time that any of the Real Madrid newspapers, if you like, have come up with, really highlighted somebody else other than Trent. They have spoken about other options, and Pedro Porro, as you know, if you follow my videos, we have discussed him before as a possibility for Real Madrid. This is basically, I feel like this is an article saying Real Madrid really favour Pedro Porro, but he would be expensive. He would be expensive, and it would be very difficult to negotiate a transfer with Tottenham. Trent Alexander-Arnold, financially attractive, even in January if they were to do that, and Liverpool kind of powerless to do anything unless it was a January window. But what we're also led to believe from back home, from people that you might say are close to the Trent Alexander-Arnold camp, are a couple of things. One, as we've predicted all along, right from months ago now, is that Trent and his representation, the Trent camp, if you like, would drag it out as long as possible to see if they would come in. But Real Madrid would come in, not because he wants to necessarily go there, but because he then has the option on the table. And it also helps in negotiating other deals or staying with Liverpool. But I think the most recent claim, which is credible, which is coming from Trent's side, is that Trent doesn't want to leave Liverpool in January. He doesn't want to leave Liverpool in January. You might dismiss that. I believe that. For the simple reason that if he leaves in January, he's leaving Liverpool mid-season. If Liverpool were doing well, top of the league, and then things go wrong, even if Liverpool get a nominal fee for him, people will always look at him as, you walked out on us and we threw away the lead. And, for the rest of his life, he will never be seen as like what he did for Liverpool. It'll always be like, you walked out on us, you fucking coward, you this, you that. You know what people are like, right? Especially, people that would be from that area that would feel more upset about him leaving, right? You stay with us, you would have been captain, you'd be a hero forever, but you left fucking mid-season, right? So Trent, I believe that. His people are saying he doesn't want to leave in January, and I believe that. He'd rather go in the summer, more of a graceful exit if he was to take that option, but he can only take an option that's presented to him, remember, right? And the other thing is, if you sign for them in January, you're giving up your signing on fee, or certainly a significant part of it. In the summer, you would be, if you were to join them on a free, even if you agreed it in January, you're getting a decent signing on fee. One thing I will say is, people will say to me, what's your opinion? And my opinion would be, I still, at this point, I still think all three sign for Liverpool. But of course, I have to have that little bit with Trent where I'm like, well, who knows what's going to fucking happen? Obviously, if Real Madrid don't come knocking, then he hasn't got the option, and he was always going to stay with Liverpool. But I would never believe that in a million years, personally. I think Liverpool pay him more, right? I think Liverpool offer him more to stay with Liverpool. He remains or becomes an even more important player in the club's history. And he is someone. I think if he goes to Real Madrid, he's no one. He's just a number. Liverpool is a name. And he won't get the patience at Real Madrid from their fans. And I just don't think he's good enough for Real Madrid. And what I mean by that is, to go to Real Madrid, you have to be fucking amazing to be successful. Look at the amount of players that go there and done. And if they're done with you, they're done with you. I guess that the attraction to him would be there to go and play with his friend and, the Spanish lifestyle. I'm in Spain. Fuck me, man. I don't want to live in England. Do you know what I mean? I love England. I love my own country. But look at outside. You can't see. It's a beautiful sunny day out there. I've been sat outside there having a coffee earlier with the dog, you know what I mean? It's lovely. So you can understand the lifestyle attraction and the glamour of playing for Real Madrid and everything. And something that was said to me recently was that Jude had been getting in his head saying, like, you know, you're going to go to Real Madrid, you're going to be a brand. This is what I've heard, right? I don't know if it's true, but it's coming from people that I trust. Trent, you know, you're going to be a brand, man. You're not just going to be, you know, TAA at Anfield. You're going to be a brand. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be football boots made after you and this, that, and the other. And, you know, you're going to be a superstar. I think that's all being put in Trent's head. And I think that's why you're getting some strange quotes from him over, you know, over since the summer. I don't know. But I also don't give a fuck. And I am completely honest with you. I've seen better players leave Liverpool over the years. I've been upset when Liverpool, you know, have lost players to Real Madrid, Barcelona, whatever. Few of these players go on to do better things. And at the end of the day, if you don't want to be with Liverpool, fuck you. You know, I don't want to be like, have that attitude, like, because if someone negotiates their way out, not negotiates, navigates their way out, is honest with the club, look, I really want this opportunity, I want to do this, I want to try something different. Look at Alonso. Alonso left Liverpool and everyone was like, hey, you know, we followed his career, wanting him to do well, etc. And there's another side of this, guys. You know, are Liverpool as ambitious as Real Madrid? Are we as ambitious as Real Madrid? We might be, the fans, but the ownership aren't. They are not going to spend another 150, 200 million a year to try and win first, because that 150, 200 is eating into their overall profits. Our owners are happy to finish second, third, or fourth. Of course, they would love to win the league, but it makes no difference. Our ownerships are champions. You know, we are a Champions League club under them. All they want is Champions League qualification. They don't care which position it is. That's what they are. So if this is an ambitious lad and he wants to test himself, and good luck to him, you can understand. You know, would you want to stay at Liverpool? You know, like the frustrations you have sometimes as a fan and thinking, why are we not doing anything in January? Why are we not doing anything in the summer? Why are we signing Chiesa, you know, like, and gambling on that? If you think that, what do you think the players think? They're still human beings just because they're multimillionaires. If anything, they're, you know, more ambitious because they're not patient. They want to be, you know, winners or whatever. So I can completely understand if he wants to go. I would pay little attention to what you're seeing on social media, because right now Liverpool Football Club won't know, in my opinion, unless we're missing something here. They won't know or be certain of what's going to happen. So how does some numpty on Twitter know? Do you know what I mean? So all we can do is analyse the vibes and the things that we see and hear, and common sense. You know, and my common sense suggests that Trent is thinking about joining Real Madrid if the opportunity presents itself to him. I don't believe he's agreed to stay with Liverpool. I don't agree he's desperate to sign for Real Madrid. I think he's like, he probably don't fucking know right now. And it must be a very difficult decision for him to make. But you can't make that decision until you have all the opportunities and all the facts and everything there in front of you. I think it comes to a head soon. If I was Richard Hughes, I would want this. I would have wanted this. And when would you want it announcing a new contract with Trent? Before the end of the year, wouldn't you? Before January, right? I would go one better. If I was Richard Hughes, I would be putting out everything I could to get this deal done before the Real Madrid game. And I'd be going into that game announcing that Trent Alexander-Arnold was committed to Liverpool Football Club and wanted to be with Liverpool Football Club and not Real Madrid. Like a huge fuck you. Do you know what I mean? So if Richard Hughes has got anything about him, that's what he'll be doing more than anything. That would be the deadline I would be setting to my personal self, to my team. I'd be like, I need to get this done before that Real Madrid game. How fucking good is that? If he doesn't make that, then you look at towards the end of the year. You know, I have no idea what will happen, guys. Just like you have no idea what will happen. But what we can do is we can monitor the vibe in the heavily biased Real Madrid newspapers. But Pedro, right? What you have to remember is with this game coming up, you are going to see more outlandish claims, I think. And they could be just part of the psychology and the fucking, trying to get in our heads before that Liverpool Real Madrid fixture. I'm not sure if I've done a very good job updating. I've struggled a little bit talking about these subjects. It's very difficult because you're going round and round in circles with the same message, if you like. But the reason for the video was to say, according to the heavily biased Real Madrid press that have no reason to make this claim. You can't say that one little reference down here to Trent Alexander-Arnold is because of the forthcoming Liverpool game. So you have to take that as sincere. I think that this is sincere. I think Real Madrid have him shortlisted. We know that they would probably prefer Pedro Porro because it says in this article he's the all-round player, if you like. But 70 million plus versus Arnold for free. You can see the thinking, what's going on there. So I'll be glad when it's all done. I'm going to leave it with you. It's always up to you to make your own minds up. All I do is just tell you what's been said, what I think, and you can leave your comments underneath this video as to what you think the current state of play is. But yeah, I know that this week, the majority, the fan base, these Twitter twats and everything, they want you to think that Trent's staying. But I can tell you, those claims, the claims that Real Madrid ended their interest in him, all stem from, an article that I touched on in my other video today. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And I bet you right now, Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't even know what's going to happen. So, but I think it's coming to a head, and we should see something soon, I reckon, guys. Just speaking the obvious. All right, I'll sign off. I'll leave you with that. If you appreciate this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a comment. I know you might have commented zillions of Trent videos with me, but your comments and opinions like mine change, right? Based on what's happening. And if you want to buy me a beer, I'm having a drink on Saturday. Sorry, I'm stroking my dog, by the way. I don't know if that looks inappropriate. Hello. I can't. Do you want to see him? Do you want to come and say hello? Come on. Here he is. Yeah, if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, please hit the super thanks button. It's the love heart under the video. There's other ways of supporting me in the channel section as well. And thanks to those of you, Sharon, Gareth Turner, Jen, that have been helping me, and others as well. Because some people say get a coffee or buy the newspapers. So, the newspapers, you guys help me with the super thanks. It enables me to go and get these papers and stuff, which I do for you guys. All right, so I'll leave that with you. Covered in bloody dog hairs. Now I'm going live on here at 2 o'clock if you're around. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I hope I've made sense. I hope I've made sense. Pedro Porro. There you go. Pedro, not Pedro the parrot, but Pedro Porro. But they say Trent remains the primary target of Real Madrid, certainly the most attractive economically. All right, guys. Cheers.